Call the meeting to order, please. I know we have some audience out here, but Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 3, adoption of the agenda, a motion required.
Motion to approve.
Support Nard.
Second by
Nard.
Howard. All in favor?
Aye.
Please vote. Please vote.
Well, we had no questions on that.
Motion passes 10-0.
Item number 4, approval of the minutes dated May 15th, 2023. Motion to approve.
Motion to approve Van Sickle.
Support Grout.
Please vote.
Motion passes 11-0.
Item 5, public participation. Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak on for 3 minutes on any item that's on the agenda? You'll have an opportunity at the end of the meeting to speak on any item. Anybody from the audience? Anybody from the audience? Audience is closed. We will now go to item number 6. Department recommendations. I would like to include A through Q? No. No, actually, we can go through A through, these are all roads.
Looks like G,
Aye.
Mr. Pratt.
A through G only.
Support.
Support. Please vote.
Oh, no, we got it.
Discussion?
Don't we need to hear from our speaker?
Yes.
Not really.
He hasn't got
He's
that
happy day
easy.
today. Not
Good
so
af-
easy.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Yeah, in regards to items 6A through G, those are all similar in the fact that they are a program that we have annually for the Limestone program, which affects the northern 7 communities that have predominantly gravel roads as compared to asphalt or concrete roadways. So these are typical cost shares that we have with them on an annual basis, where we participate with those communities in an effort to repair and make the gravel roads more consistent and less to have to maintain with our forces throughout the summers and winters. So the program requires that the participating townships cover the cost of 10% of the materials, which would be the limestone and the brine that's applied afterwards to cut the dust down after the fresh limestone is placed. So seeking approval of all those cost shares with the 7 communities as indicated. We do budget for that on an annual basis, so seeking approval.
Mr. Romano.
Thank you, Commissioner. Hi, Brian. I
afternoon.
imagine you budgeted for this, so the money is there. My question is, how much money is left once this is done?
Yes, it is budgeted. We did budget $2.2 million, which covers, the cost of the materials and labor and equipment that's required to place and grade this material. So I guess, what do you mean, or what's left over? What's left over where?
Yes, you have 7 communities. I see the numbers. I take it's a matter of adding up the numbers, subtracting to the 2 million. Is that correct?
Yes, the 2.2 million, yes. So like I said, once again, it is budgeted for. We do account for it on an annual basis as one of our programs for the 7 communities as listed here.
Thank you. That's all I have, Commissioner. Thank you,
Thank
Brian.
you, Commissioner. Commissioner Sabatini.
Thank you, Chair. Brian, what's the annual budget for limestone? Approximately,
With,
in our entire budget for your,
I can get that for you. I don't know total wise. We obviously maintain the gravel roads outside of this program for all the different communities. Outside even the 7 here listed. I can get you that number.
I was just curious if you knew off the top of your head. That's all. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Commissioner.
No other, no other speakers? Please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Item number 8, cost-sharing agreement, Clinton Township Subdivision Reconstruction Program, South Miles Road, total cost $914,144, county cost $457,072. Brian?
Motion to move H through O to full board.
Any discussion?
Yes, as far as items H through L, I'm sorry, H through L, so that would be 5 items. Those are cost share agreements as associated with our subdivision reconstruction program. Once again, that is an annual program where we match up to $2 million of match money for a 50-50 program to go into the local subdivision streets and do reconstruction projects. Either it's a total reconstruction with drainage improvements, or it's a grind the existing pavement down, mill it, rubblize it, and then grade it and pave over it with additional drainage considerations. So items H through L are all cost share agreements with those particular communities within the subdivision program that we have on an annual basis. It is a submittal process, so all communities are interested in this program submit before a deadline, and we look at our obviously viable projects and our budget and select from there, try and spread it around to the communities as good as possible to distribute the monies. So seeking approval on H through L as far as the cost share agreements with those communities.
Commissioner Sabatini?
Thank you, Chair. Brian, so this is the total amount based on our entire budget that's going to be used for this program for this year?
Yes.
Our portion of the split.
Correct.
Correct.
So the cost share agreements with the communities indicate their costs and then our costs, and that's cumulative for.
So I know we did this program years ago. I mean, it seems to be a success still. We have communities that have to meet us halfway or pay their portion, obviously, of the program. Obviously, my community uses it. Is this something where we could put more money in our budget to increase the program? Just based on some of these communities, and you said they obviously have to apply and go through that process, but are there any communities that didn't get the funds this year that if we would have had budgeted those funds on our end, they would have had the opportunity to do that?
There weren't any other communities that submitted that didn't get a project.
Okay.
It would just be maybe 1 or 2 from the same communities here listed that might have had 2 or 3 projects that they submitted.
Okay.
And we've tried to spread it around, but there's a fine line. I mean, this year we did add a little bit above the 2 million just for the fact that, you know, 1, we were unsure of where the bid prices were going to be, but 2, we had some projects that were allocated for funding that we knew weren't going to come to fruition this year, so we wanted to utilize additional monies and not just not use it. So we did put some additional monies into it. The thing is, there's so many contractors that do this work, but there's so much time frame to do this type of program also. So as you see, there's 5 projects in a season. For this program, that's pretty challenging once we start it to finish it. So it depends on how much we're looking at trying to scale up this program. Sometimes if you get it too high, it's going to be unconstructable in 1 year.
Okay.
So there's
And they'll just be carrying forward and
correct.
going
So there'll
back and
be
forth.
carryover, but then we'll have the next program that'll be starting.
So in your opinion, based on what we have budgeted for this program, this is an ideal amount of money for the program?
I'd say, you know, like I said, we kicked in some additional funds, so above the 2 million, I think there's a little bit of threshold to increase, but not probably twofold, because then you're gonna be dealing with potentially 8 to 10 projects with the same contractor that probably not feasible in 1 construction season.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Nard?
Brian, I was just wondering, we have a lot of trailer parks in the Warren area, and they've been talking to me about, I guess a lot of them are repairing the trailer homes, and they're doing a lot of beautification in that area. Would they qualify for something like a cost share on their roads? How would that work with something like that?
It would depend on the type of road. A subdivision road is usually housing, multifamily housing. I guess it would depend on the designation of the roadway in that particular development. Trailer parks, I don't know necessarily if we have any trailer parks under our jurisdictional roadway system.
Okay.
That would probably lend itself probably to more private roads within those communities, which we do not handle.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner,
Thank you,
Commissioner Van Sickle?
Thank you. Would you speak to MNO now? Would you address items M,
Oh,
N, and O now?
yes,
Thank
sure.
you.
As far as item M, contract MDOT asphalt project on Capac Road from Irwin Road to Pratt Road. This is part of our rural pavement preservation program where we get funding for that program annually. We got a little over $300,000 to partake in a rural section of roadway, which obviously Capac Road is considered a rural roadway. Looking at some projects that we've done in the past, currently on, or previously on Capac Road, this is a continuation moving to the north to make that connector from the north to the south to Armada Center Road an improvement. So seeking approval on this contract, MDOT contract, in a total amount of $871,100. Item N is our annual guardrail safety project. We inspect the guardrail on a year-to-year basis, and this is an annual program where we go and fix damaged sections of guardrail throughout the county and make improvements on that. So seeking approval of that contract to Action Traffic Maintenance in the amount of $221,067.77. And item O, which is a contract with Body Construction, and that would be for the contractor for the 2023 Subdivision Reconstruction Program, which is a total of $3,506,753.42.
Are you through, Commissioner? Van Sickle,
I'm not on the list.
speaking before.
Did he answer your questions?
Oh, that was items M, N, and O, as
Commissioner
was.
Zong?
Thank you, Chair. For the guardrails, where are the inspections being made? Like, do you have a map, or can you share with us, like, what areas would need improvement? Or what areas are you installing new guardrails?
I can get you that as far as the locations. Like I said, that's through our traffic operations center, our traffic department. They obviously go out and assess the sections of guardrail that are on our jurisdictional roads. I can get you that program as far as locations for this particular program.
All right, thank you, Brian. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Kraft?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Honestly, I kind of lost track of where we're at, so I'm just going to ask a question to Brian anyway. The two North Bay Industrial Subdivision items, one has a total cost of, we'll say 6.1 million, and then when you go down to the contract to Chartier Excavating, total cost is 5.1. So is that extra million or so, a little less than $1 million, is that coming from the township? Is that how that's flushing out?
So if you're looking at item P, which is the actual contract with ML Chartier Excavating, that's for the North Bay Industrial Subdivision, that's just for the construction of the project. The other cost share deals with all the other costs, design, inspection, oversight, testing. So that's why you see the higher number as far as the cost share with us in the community.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
No other speakers, please vote.
Commissioner Sabatini, did your vote come through?
Sorry.
Okay, if you want a voice vote, I can add it. Thank you. Motion passes 12-0.
Where we at? Which one we at, Commissioner Purdon? I kind of lost track here a little bit.
P, coming up to P.
Keys and Paul?
P's and Paul.
Thank you.
Contract with MDOT asphalt project on Capac Road from Irwin to Pratt. Total cost $871, county cost $562. Brian?
I'll make a motion to move this to full board, if we haven't already.
Support.
And that's item P on yours. I must not have a updated agenda. Just one second.
Did you talk about this Pratt Road already? Didn't you talk about this MDOT?
Brian, I can read it off to you if that'll help you.
I think you did too.
I think you covered it. Asphalt project on
you already
Capac
talked about
Road.
this
Not
Item P,
included.
we're on item P, right?
Notice that.
He is in Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was already discussed?
Yeah, that was a question that Commissioner Kraft had as far as that goes.
No, he's out of order, but that's okay.
So yes, that was explained as far as
Okay.
North Bay Industrial Subdivision Rehab Project. That's a local agency project. That's 60/40. 60 to the township, 40 to the Department of Roads. The total cost of that, as far as the contract to MLCRT, is $5,190,309.30.
That was already been approved then.
Okay.
No, we didn't.
We need a motion to move
P
it to full
P
board.
and Q, I made the original motion for P, for P include. P and Q, Commissioner.
That one over there matches mine, so
That's my role.
I'll make a motion, move P and Q to full board.
Support.
what they're looking at is different than. the
All in favor?
Okay.
Vote.
It should, yeah.
That is, you're correct. Both of these.
We're all broken.
Okay, all right. Keep me on my toes here. All righty.
We voting?
Call for the vote.
Call for the vote.
Which item?
This is for P and Q.
P and Q
Motion for P and Q, so yeah.
are,
This is for P, wasn't it?
Motion passes 12-0.
all right, agenda R, contract with Proline Asphalt Paving Company resurfacing of 30 Mile Road to Burr Road, Oak Drive, and Kildare Drive. Total cost $2,117,973. Brian,
So moved by Nard.
Support.
discussion?
Okay, so this is a contract with Proline Asphalt Paving Company. This would be a local agency project based on 60/40 cost share, 60% to the community, 40% to the Department of Roads for resurfacing of 30 Mile Road from Burr Oak Drive to Kildare. Total cost, as was read, $2,117,973.
Discussion? Please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Next items, how about S, T, and U we put together, please? Motion?
So move.
Support.
Brian?
Yes, so I believe S would be the contract with Proline Asphalt Paving Company. That would be a local agency project with 100% McDore funds on Card Road. I'm sorry, no, that would be 50/50. On Card Road and 21 Mile Road, that's with Macomb Township. That'd be bypass lanes for that particular section of roadway. So that total cost would be $474,092.99. Item T,
Nope. T.
T.
Yeah.
I believe that would be a cost share agreement with Macomb Township, 21 Mile Road bypass lane at Autumn Ridge. That is part of the contract with Proline. That was the line previous to that. That is a 50/50 share. Overall total cost of that's $243,874, with half of that being the county cost of $121,937. And then there's U, which would be a cost share agreement with Chesterfield Township. It was mentioned previously for the North Bay Industrial Subdivision Reconstruction. That's a local agency project once again, with a split of 60/40, 60% to the community, 40% to the Department of Roads, with the cost share broken out as listed. So county cost would be $2,449,826.
Any discussion?
Brian, would you repeat that amount again, 200 and what?
The McDorr costs, road department costs out of that is $2,449,826.
That doesn't, that's not the number I have here. Is it just me? I'm sorry, are we on West Archer Drive bridge replacement?
I wasn't able to scroll down, so I took it the
Yes.
same. Right,
Yeah, their U is.
I'm looking at item,
I got you.
item U.
Okay.
What's the amount?
Okay, so that's an MDOT contract for West Archer Drive bridge replacement. That is a critical bridge funded project at 80-20 split, 80% federal funds and 20% road department. So total cost of $2,358,500. County cost is $471,700.
Got it. Thank you.
Now
Thank you, Chair.
Commissioner Sabatini.
A lot of numbers. Poor Brian. Couple questions in regards to the 21-mile road. I know we got a lot of development going on over there. Specifically Heinrich between 21 and 22.
Okay.
What does the future look for that amount of road there to be replaced? It's been just beat up really, really bad. Obviously gets a lot of wear and tear from all the schools that are in that area too. Is that on the horizon here to be, it'd probably have to be replaced, I would assume.
Yeah, that's discussions with the community, with Macomb. Obviously, we're doing a lot of projects in Macomb. 23-mile road, widening here as far as the bypass.
We're writing big checks, we know.
Romeo Plank, we got coming up in 2024. You know, we discuss multiple projects with all communities. So if that's a priority that they want to put up on the list, we'd be more than happy to talk with them and partner with them as far as some type of project. But that's got to be a kind of a locally driven ask. So I know we've had a lot of asks and we've been able to provide funding for Macomb in different capacities, but they have a lot of, I know there's Broughton Road that they're talking about. We're doing Garfield Road with them now as far as a new roadway section. So a lot of irons in the fire, but that would
Sounds
be
good.
somewhere to
Fair enough.
start for the community to bring that to our attention as far as priority on their list.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Thank you,
Commissioner. Commissioner Zinner.
Thank you, Chair. Brian, that West Archer Bridge, is that coming along as expected? Anything unforeseen or?
No, that project is in the queue as the timeline that we had designed for it. So once again, this comes from our critical bridge funding that we submit and got funding for this particular project. So all is on the same timeline as we predicted or anticipated.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Brown.
Thank you. Not on this subject, but since you're here before, this is the last item before I'll let you go. What is the status of the brine to treat the dust on the roads? I know there's some question about supply issues possibly this year with one of the contractors going out of business or being sold. Do you have any information on that? I mean, it's been really dry. And commissioners, I have more miles of dirt roads in my district than gravel than paved roads. Though we have 1 mile less after this year when you get done paving 31-mile road. But there's a lot of dust as a result of just being dirt roads. And they apply dust. They apply it twice a season. And the Department of Roads has been real good about applying water in hot spots. And I really appreciate that. So thank you on behalf of the residents. But I was just curious if you'd speak a little bit about what the status is with the brine that we use.
As far as the supply of brine with the contractor that we have under contract for that application, I have not heard myself that there's any shortage of brine. I know there was a potential issue, which I think has been tabled as far as Eagle with that application, not only with our community, but other counties in the state, actually. But I know they're in discussions with the County Road Association, moving that forward. They kind of tabled that to discuss further. Because obviously we switched from putting chloride down, which is not the best green thing to put down as far as our roadways. So we went to a brine mixture, which is more environmentally friendly, but Eagle had an issue with that, but then they tabled it as far as discussions with the road commissions and Department of Roads throughout the state.
Well, I just want to thank you again. Happen to citizens of the north end of the county appreciate the attention to the roads, and the limestone's the next best thing, the paving that we all have out there, and what you do to take care of those hot spots is appreciated when there's a lot of dust flare-ups, people with asthma and so forth like that appreciate the attention that you give to that. So thank you.
You're welcome, Commissioner. And you know, with our limestone program, we did add in an additional brine after that application, so that'll help with the newly placed limestone and the dust that's generated from that once we place that new material down. So that's part of that 90-10 match for the communities in the northern region with that limestone program, just to, you know, temper the dust that we do get after new limestone is placed and graded. So
Thank you.
you're
Thank you,
welcome.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I have an additional question. Before you put down the brine, are the roads resurfaced again? Do you have anybody going down there and resurfacing the roads to smooth it out before you put the brine down?
Typically, we'll have a grading operation to go down prior to, just to make sure that we have, you know, as smooth a road as possible as far as the gravel section, and then treat it obviously with the brine after that.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Commissioner.
Any other speakers? Please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Boy, did you get away easy, Brian, huh? You were ready for us.
Really, the audience gets up here.
It's a different agenda, that's not easy.
Thank you.
We go in circles.
All right, item number 7, correspondence. Department of Roads Project Information Update. Motion to receive and file.
So moved by Nard.
Support.
No discussion, please vote.
Commissioner Nard, did your vote come through?
Yes, Nard votes yes.
Thank you. Motion passes 12-0.
Sorry. I pushed it.
Item number 8, public participation. I know the public's here, but they're hiding right now, and even from the public, once, twice. Close public participation. Commissioners' comments? Joseph?
Thank you, Commissioner. You know, once more, I think we've said this before, and I've got to say it again because I'm probably the most at fault. But I want to thank our staff once again for the reminders, guys. I don't know about the rest of you, but it sure is nice to know when things are coming up, and then they tell us about it, then they remind us about it, and then we don't respond, and they remind us about it again. But I just want to take it on my behalf to say thanks to the entire staff for doing such a good job. I appreciate it. That's all I have. Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Zong?
Thank you, Chair. I was just wondering if we have an update regarding our equipment in order to have people connect live with us and interact.
Next month. Do next month.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Any other commissioners? If not,
Motion to adjourn.
to adjourn.
Support. Zinner.